Welcome to Velocity City, where you get to know about all the exciting news and updates about our beloved sport, Formula 1. Today, we will discuss all the major upgrades expected to be debuted in the United States Grand Prix. Haas is introducing some major upgrades, while Mercedes is rumoured to have a few minor tweaks. We will discuss in detail about everything, but before we get started, be sure to subscribe and press the bell icon to get regular updates from Velocity City. Let's get started. Well, the season is moving towards the end, with only 5 races remaining. Most of the teams have decided to debut their major upgrades for the next season, except Haas. There are also some rumoured tweaks to the Mercedes, so will Haas get some points after the upgrades? Will Mercedes keep their second position in the Constructors Championship? We will see about that. The Haas upgrade package for the 2023 Austin Grand Prix is a significant investment for the team. The new side pods, floor and bodywork are all designed to improve the car's performance in many areas. For the Austin Grand Prix, the Haas VF23 received a major upgrade to its side pods, which are now more sculpted and have a larger inlet. This helps to direct more air over the car's floor and reduce drag, thanks to a narrower rear design. The narrower rear end of the new side pods will also help to reduce drag, which is important on the circuit in the Americas, allowing the Haas car to reach higher top speeds and potentially gain an advantage in qualifying and in the race. Haas hopes their new front wing, which is larger and more complex than the previous design, will improve car stability. If the upgrade package is successful, Haas could move closer to the front-running teams and challenge for points more regularly. Austin will be a good test of the new car and a key step in Haas's development ahead of the 2024 season. Now it is time for Mercedes. Mercedes is currently sitting in the second position with the 30 points lead to Ferrari. This isn't by any means a big lead. They will want to finish second in the Constructors Championship, so there are rumours that Mercedes will introduce a few slight tweaks to their car before the United States GP. Mercedes started the season slowly, struggling for form since the start of last year. The team's engineers had to make significant changes to the car to comply with the new technical regulations, and they could not find a competitive setup early on. However, Mercedes abandoned its zero side pod design and continued a new concept in Monaco. Since then, the team has made steady progress, and the W14 is now competing for podiums regularly. The upgrades that Mercedes is expected to introduce at the United States Grand Prix will likely be minor, but they could still give the team a slight edge over Ferrari. Mercedes also knows it needs to start developing its 2024 car as soon as possible. Mercedes will likely split its resources between developing the current and 2024 cars in the coming months. It will be interesting to see how the new upgrades perform at the United States Grand Prix. If Mercedes can maintain its lead over Ferrari, it will be in a strong position to finish second in the Constructors Championship. However, if Ferrari can find some performance, it could be a close battle for the runners-up spot. Speaking to a podcast, Mercedes Communications Director Bradley Lord said, "Well, in the factory we're already fully on next year. We've got some parts to come that are just coming through the production cycle. They'll land around Austin time. Then the focus really at the track is how do we extract everything from this car in order to try and defend and hopefully extend our gap to get that P2 in the championship, which obviously matters to everybody in the team so much." Aston Martin started the 2023 Formula 1 season in sensational form, with Fernando Alonso scoring 6 podium finishes in the first 8 races. This was a remarkable achievement for a team that had finished 7th in the Constructors Championship in the previous year. However, Aston Martin's form has fallen dramatically in the season's second half. They have only scored 1 podium in the last 8 races and slipped to 4th in the Constructors' Championship. Aston Martin has faced increased competition from McLaren in the second half of the season. McLaren has made significant progress with their MCL60 car, and they are now breathing down Aston Martin's neck in the Constructors' Championship. Aston Martin will need to find a way to turn things around to avoid being overtaken by McLaren in the coming races. The team must focus on developing the car and improving its reliability. They must also find a way to get the best out of their drivers. At the start of the season, we were a bit surprised when we had the second fastest car, but our pursuers weren't far behind back then. They then developed faster and better. We have to accept that. We slowly fell to the bottom of that group. Performance director Tom McCullough said. However, unlike most front-running teams who have switched off development for 2023 as the focus changes to next year, Aston Martin will keep up the development, including the introduction of upgrades of the AMR23. Last month, team boss Mike Krack said, "We will continue to develop it for a while, because we think the regulations are stable and what we learn on this car we can translate into next year. From the moment that it becomes a hindrance for the new path, we will obviously stop, but this is not the case." Having introduced upgrades that haven't had as much effect as might have been anticipated through the middle portion of the season, Krack said the aim is to reverse the trend of recent races heading into the final part of the season. Our upgrades didn't do as much as we had hoped. Of course, we always question whether the methods in the development direction were correct. Then, you have to make the necessary changes for the future. We have the reverse situation from last year. If you get off to a good start and then the others gradually overtake you, it's not good for morale. Therefore, it is very important for us to reverse the trend. We have to turn it around. Wherever we end up then, Krack said. Krack is confident that, should his team perform at 100%, Aston Martin could hold 4th place. "I think we have a couple races to go, plenty of opportunities, and we need to maximise every weekend. We have not done that for a while now. We have managed to do that earlier in the season, so it's on us." Now McLaren, they are aiming for the 4th place finish. They are currently 5th, but there is a difference of just 49 points between them and Aston Martin. And in the last 3 races, McLaren has gained 61 points, while Aston Martin has managed to gain just 6. McLaren team principal Andrea Stella has explained why the team is not rushing to install new upgrades to its car. The team started the season on the back foot, admitting it had missed development targets. However, a successful upgrade in Austria boosted the team's performance, and it has since enjoyed a strong run of form, scoring 4 podiums. Stella explained that the team is not rushing to bring new upgrades because it wants to be methodical and avoid making mistakes. "I'm focused on the process. You can have targets. You can say these are my 3 milestones from a result point of view. But in reality, you don't work against that. You work just at the fastest, reasonable pace that can be sustained in development. I mean, that's the definition. What we do is the fastest, reasonable pace that can be sustained in development. Then we see where we end up," Stella stated. Stella argued that attempting to speed up the natural process could result in backward steps. "If you go faster, you may start jumping the gun, shortcutting, finding yourself bringing things trackside, and they don't work because you haven't been methodical enough," he said. "So that's how we work, looking at the season if we really want to check against this best expectation. I think we are slightly ahead of where we would have expected to be even in the most optimistic prediction. This is credit and a testament of the good work that has happened from a technical point of view, operational point of view, and racing point of view at McLaren," Stella said. So as you can see, most teams have shifted their focus on the next season, while Haas is bringing major upgrades to the car. There will be a few minor tweaks, but as for a major overhaul, I think the shop is closed for now. There you have it. Do you think the new upgrades will benefit Haas? Who will finish second in the Constructors Championship? What are your thoughts? Tell us in the comment section below.